Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is another morning here at beautiful Coronado, sunny as usual in San Diego. And I'm in our headquarters for IQ Podcasts. I have a great guest today. My name is Maryanne Parker, and I have my podcast, Posh Overnight with the Princess. As you know, I teach etiquette, and I have a very interesting guest because we will be talking about fashion, etiquette, sophistication, and just very different things. Even about the Shark Tank. And I'm wearing something very interesting today because I want to match the perspective of our show. Welcome to Latif Hamilton. He's the CEO and the co-founder of SpiritHoods, very intriguing company because, for many of us, we want to leave to our loved ones something very special. Some people leave properties, investments, fine clothing, and why not something from SpiritHoods? Welcome again, Latif Hamilton. And my first question to you is how SpiritHoods became pop culture phenomenon, and I would like to know more about you too.
Okay, well, thank you first for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to just jump into this journey and a little bit of history. I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. Okay. So your question was, how did it sort of get taken up by pop culture, right? How did it kind of get?
How did you start?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Sorry. This is. All right. My phone was just coming through the computer, so I don't know if you could hear that.
Oh, don't worry. We're very free and very relaxed
okay, cool.
here, so it's like you're at the cafe.
Great. So we started the company kind of by accident. Actually, we were making these hats for Burning Man, and one of my partners wore it out in nightlife, and it was just the experience he had was extraordinary. People were coming up and petting him. They were asking where he got the hat. There was just so many things that happened in the times that he wore them out, and he finally had let us know. He came over. We were talking about this, this crazy events that are happening to him because he's wearing this funky little hat, and we just decided that this would be a great opportunity for us to launch a company. We had been searching for something to launch, me and my partner and brother Marley, who is also a co-founder. And so we launched this company with a few ideas that we had been pushing around, which was around animal conservation and how we could draw from these. They were wonky hats. They were like weird ears and all sorts of things with obviously fake fur. And so we kind of wanted to draw inspiration from the animal kingdom. So we started by kind of mimicking the animals: wolves, lions, bears, all these different ones. And that was our foyer into it. And, it kind of was it's such a unique product in the market when we started. It just something like that didn't really exist. And I think that was the reason initially that it kind of got sucked into pop culture. We were in LA, we were out in the nightlife, we were seeing random celebs and different people and playing at events and parties, and some of our friends were connected with other people, and we just ended up putting these hats on lots of people. And it just started to become a thing. It just started to become a fun way to express yourself, right? And at the same time, we were giving back to endangered animals, and it was just an extraordinary experience all around. It was fun. It was captivating. It was connecting. Our product's really about connection, right, between each other and right now, obviously with COVID, I think we need it more than ever. So in terms of community, it's a pillar of ours. Community is a pillar of ours, and connection with both each other and the animal kingdom. And from there, it just kind of spiraled.
Wow. Yes. I think that the fact that you started in just not just sporadically, but by an accident, you're becoming from a very solid movement. Probably you didn't even realize back then, because especially during the pandemic, I've been reading so much about the viruses that are transmissible from animals to humans, and I think that you are not branding only the fun part, but something very, very crucial for all of us being safe and healthy. So I think that that's just so phenomenal. Very interesting to me. So the meaning behind SpiritHoods back in the day was about the spirit. We are all animals, and showing your self-expression. And so, yes, I understand that. When that
Yeah.
happened, 7, 8 years ago, or in 2013?
11
Oh,
years,
11 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, really 2010. We founded the company in 2009. 2010, we kind of we started taking action in 2010. Essentially, we had production going on, and actually the first trade show we only had one sample of each item. We didn't even
Oh,
have a
yes, this
production
is how you
pipeline.
start.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely a wild ride, and we didn't really know exactly where we were going to land, but we did have a lot of love that we were putting in the product, and we did have a great, in terms of our aspirations, they were high. You know, we've always really adored the animal kingdom, and we've always wanted, just as our friend group, we've always been connected to the animal kingdom, and we've loved to be able to express ourselves and be a little bit more wild at heart, a little bit more free. And you know, that's what these things can do. This isn't an animal print, but this is a short pile fur. Actually, it's a very short pile fur. So we do a lot of textures.
Oh,
Yeah, and we still
I've seen
do.
it on your website.
What's
I've
that?
seen it on your website. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. This one's the cotton candy. Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's fun. Almost everything is of course related back to an animal, but we have a few items that are just playful and colorful. So.
Which I wrote down certain questions because I want to ask you certain interesting things that are intriguing to me too. What particular charities do you support? Can you mention them, or you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great question. What's interesting, the way we've structured is we have a few primary nonprofits like Snow Leopard Conservancy, Panthera, Predator Defense. I mean, we've got about 6 that we are consistently in discussions with. And like, for example, Panthera, last year we did a 100% give back on a release. So we made a Panthera SpiritHood, and we gave back 100% proceeds back to Panthera. We're doing that again this year, as well as doing it with Snow Leopard Conservancy. And they're limited edition, so they're fun, they're unique, they're designed beautifully. We do our best to make them beautiful. And then on top, so we have this working relationships with these nonprofits. We're also going to start, you know, one of the challenges for nonprofits is really getting their message across and out into the world. So that's what we do, is we make an attempt to help drive the awareness forward for them on their behalf in our community. And so we'll also do fun things like, sometimes there's Polar Bear Awareness Week, or there's awareness campaigns where, you know, we're not showering for 3 days, or we're doing fun things that are just to support the nonprofit as part of their awareness campaign. We do a lot of auctions with nonprofits, and we also work locally. Like we did, I don't know if you saw this, but we did a shoot with the animal tracks, where we shot with the animals that were actually rescued. They were black market pet trade rescues. And did you see that photo shoot? I don't know if you saw that photo shoot, but we did it, and it was like, you know, we had all these amazing animals. And of course, the sad thing is that a lot of these animals are black market rescues. So they're pet rescues. They shouldn't have never been allowed to be owned by people, right? Just generic population. They should be in environments where someone can understand how to support and care for these creatures, and they shouldn't be pets anyways. So this rescue facility we did a shoot with, and so and then we donated all the funds that we went on the auctions and things back to this this animal, the company was called, or the organization is called Animal Tracks here in LA. And so we do a lot of variety of things. We have our maybe 5-6 core nonprofits, and then we also have these smaller organizations that we'll work with and promote and do fundraising for and things like that. So
yes, I think that's very crucial because, you know, I also support certain charities, and back in the day I was part of one charity as a client, as a representative. So the tables turned in a positive way so I can support them. But I think and my son is going to love you, especially when you're talking about 3 days not taking showers. So my kids will be all for it. They like every single detail. I've been showing them your website. They really love what you do. So how actually your brand, because you're a businessman, I read your bio and I know that you studied business just as I did, but we have this different idea about creativity. You know, we're very business oriented. We like the money, but we really love
like the money.
We have to, because
of
you
course.
can really do anything. How can you support your charities without it?
Of course.
So how your business became different, much different than anyone else, because you have to differentiate yourself from the rest of the, you know, it's $1 billion business with the fur and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, one, we are 100% fake fur. So that's one
Mhm.
differentiating factor. We've been that way since the beginning, whereas a lot of people are coming on board with fake fur. We were always that way. And we also tried to push that envelope out into the world as a very viable option, right? You don't
Mhm.
need to harm an animal to wear almost anything. I mean, there's very few things in which that should even be a consideration. So
Exactly.
when it comes to general fashion, I mean, when it comes to animal prints and fake furs, I mean, we feel that there is an endless amount of creativity that can be put into that for even for realism or whatever you want. So I think that, you know, the general landscape of fashion is hard because a lot of it's fast fashion. A lot of it is just, let's pump out as many things as we can. There's quality issues. Often we focus a lot on high quality garments.
Yes.
Everything that we make is designed to last a long time. We don't use cheap linings. We do our best to make something that's going to be with you. And in fact, a lot of our customers bond with the products. I mean, you have these amazing experiences. Which hopefully SpiritHoods is helping to shape, whether it's going out to a festival or going out to nightlife or going out camping or wherever it is, and you bond with the experience and the garments that you're wearing, especially if there's something that's cozy and fun and helps you feel alive inside. And so that's one of our core operating methodologies is we always think of products as, okay, is that a product that's going to bring you to life? Is it going to connect you with yourself? And also by doing that, connect you with the world around you, at least help to do that. Obviously, we're just a product. We're just a
Yes,
coat or a
it's a luxury brand, and luxury is usually a feeling, an emotion. So I believe that very well as well.
Yeah,
And I saw somewhere in one of the clips, I believe that because some of the items had the little ears, and
yeah,
someone mentioned that when you didn't make them with the ears
yeah.
anymore, people didn't want to purchase it.
Yeah. That's
So maybe
a great point. Yeah. So when we were expanding our product line, because first we were just hats. We were just You can actually
yes,
kind of see if I
yes,
can point right there. There's a little. That's the
I
original
love it.
product design. It's just a little funky hat, right, with
Yes, I love
ears.
it.
Yeah, and then we branched into coats and throws and sweaters, and now we've got leggings. We got a whole bunch of stuff. But when we were branching and when we were making the leap from a
Mhm.
brand that is going to live in the long term, right? You have to get creative and create new product
Exactly.
lines, right? And so we made coats, and one of the first things we did, we made a coat. It was obviously fake fur, so it was in alignment. There's no ears, and our fan base, our customers just didn't really, they didn't, it was almost
Like,
like they
where's the
didn't get
ears?
it. They were like, what are you doing? Why do you have a
Seriously.
coat? It was too fashionable almost in a traditional sense, like a traditional fashion sense. And so when we redesigned it, the only redesign that we did really was put
The
ears
ears?
on it. And that next year we put ears on it and it just
I love
exploded
it.
like fire. So yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. But I believe that you have to be different. You can still, you don't
yes.
really have to be the best, but you need to be different to be able to
Yeah.
make it in this crazy world, because I love the years as well. So how do
Yeah. Thank you.
you get to Shark Tank? How this can happen?
Yeah, that was just an opportunity that arose. I think they reached out to us
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and the first time they reached out to us, I think we said no because they in the beginning they used to take a portion of the company, like they would take 5% of your company or
Yes.
something. I can't remember exactly, but so we said no the first time, and then it came back around, and when they were not doing that anymore, and we said yes. And then we just, it's a lot harder than you'd think to properly prep for Shark Tank because it's nerve wracking. It's national TV. I actually was not on the show myself because I was
Yes,
running
that's all the, mhm.
company. I was super busy. So my other two partners, they had to practice, and we would have these sessions where I was going over the numbers and all the important facts that we needed to talk about. And they went on the show, and it was a really fun experience, right? It was interesting.
Amazing.
We got tons of just in terms of marketing exposure, we got really great exposure. Damon John gave us an offer that was not really in alignment for us. We were afraid that he might take the product and kind of do what he does, which is we're trying to go high road. He was kind of, he has a tendency to go kind of lower, mid to lower road and license everything out and just kind of, I don't know, we weren't as into that, but it was a fun experience for sure.
That was actually my next question, because I've done a lot of TV. Even if you're not always on the national shows, the exposure is very tremendous. So you need this exposure. But I really, really liked about your company that you stood your ground. I'm like, you know what? These young people, they don't take nonsense. They just want to do their thing. And even if they're on
Yeah.
the Shark Tank, they know what their value is and who their customer is. And you know what? You did so. I think that this was a sign back then, because now I know that you guys are gonna go so far, especially during the pandemic,
Thank
because
you.
no,
Yeah.
this is the facts. Those are the
Yeah.
facts. I think that California is the first state that banned sales of fur.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah. Like,
it's
woo! That's a
it's
celebration right
there,
there. I'm like,
and it's from March 21st, 2021.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
going to spread all over not just in this country, but all over the world.
I hope
So
so.
I am pretty sure. I don't think that is going to happen in my country, but that's a different
Yeah.
story.
Time
So
always moves the needle, I think. Also, there's awareness. It's like when people are aware of, I'm on calls and interviews and things with nonprofits all the time. We do our live broadcasts with nonprofits. I was just on one with Positive Beginnings, PAWS, Positive. And she's just this woman who took it upon herself to start rescuing foxes, because her friends they needed a place to put some of these foxes. They had a nonprofit. So she started her own nonprofit. I mean, some of these people that are on the ground that they don't have marketing dollars. They're not out there talking about everything, because they're just actually in it, rescuing the animals, feeding them, providing them, giving them shelters. Like, they're in it trying to rescue and help these creatures. But it's even I am very unaware about some of the things that people are doing. There's over 500 fox and chinchilla fur farms in the US. And, these animals are treated horrifically. And if you've ever seen a fox, right? If you ever met a fox,
I have it in my area.
You do? Yeah. I mean,
I live in the woods.
yeah. I mean, I go to Death Valley here, and every time I'm in Death Valley, I'm visited by foxes. They're the most beautiful and extraordinary creatures, and they're highly intelligent, and they're highly social. And the way in which these foxes are bred and kept in captivity and, treated really horrendously. It should never really be okay in any capacity, but the fact that they're doing it and it's so abusive and so damaging, it's not like a free range cattle that is hopefully living a full life before, going to do to the slaughterhouse or something like that. That's a whole other discussion that we can't really get into, but these foxes are kept in cages that they can't move in. And it's
proximity.
Yep.
So scary. Yes,
Yep. It's a very devastating approach and not humane. And the bulk of these companies that are in the business are really just about money, and they're disconnected from the humanity and from the fact that we are all animals. I mean, that's just a fact, and that we are all kinship, and we need each other. There's an ecosystem, an environment at play here that we're obviously disrupting in a very, very obvious negative way. So part of that starts with leading from the heart and being able to recognize these animals are highly intelligent and highly social creatures, and we really can't be doing that. We can't. And to wear it, just to wear, I mean, look at the creature as a living being, and that's something extraordinary to experience. To just have it on your body is worthless. There's no point in that, at least from my perspective. Especially when you can go get something that is the exact color representation. I can color match anything. I mean, I really can. So, and I can make fur lengths as long or as short as need to be to replicate something. So you can't tell me that, we can't create realism without harming an animal. It's just, it's a no-brainer at this point to switch.
Absolutely.
To fake fur.
Back in the day, actually, the real fur, which is, this is how we know that we were so uneducated and not aware about anything, about many details. Wearing a real fur was a question of prestige and investment and luxury and glamour, but now it's so scary because we need to fight on the global scale, because we have the legal trade and we have the illegal trade. And if you're mentioning right now that the foxes are treated so bad in our country, because I'm very local, do you know how they're treated in countries with no control? So you already know, because you're in this business.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's
I
heartbreaking, and it's a testament to where
hearing.
society is as a whole, right? We
Mhm.
need to shift, and we have to shift in every category. It's not just
Yeah,
less
exactly.
plastics. It's not just it's everything has to shift in order for our species to survive, and that's a very real issue right now, I think. So
A lot of education. I think that you can really educate a lot of people about it. I have a question for you. Is your line, the fashion line, seasonal? Can we people wear it during, for example, the summer months? We are in California.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, oddly, so we are, one of the things that we're not great at is having super lightweight items because we're so texture driven. So something that I've been working on in my designing and developing is some items that can still give the texture and feel of Spirit Hood's, look and experience without being super bulky. And so we've got a lot of things in the pipeline. We do have a few things that are coming out. For us, festival season is a big season. And that's spring, summer. I mean, historically, COVID has obviously just destroyed that for us temporarily. But I know that at some point it's going to come back online, and that's
Correct.
that's usually how we survive the spring, summer months is actually festival season, because it gets cold at night at festivals, and you want to wear something big and wild and gorgeous and cozy. And so we haven't had to do a whole lot of lightweight development, but of course it's something that we've wanted to do, and we're starting to put time and energy towards. I wouldn't say we're completely seasonal. We release products consistently throughout the month, and we have capsule releases and things, but we're always creating. We don't necessarily follow traditional trends. We have a line of products that's always in stock, right? Like you can always get our classic gray wolf coat because it's the #1 seller and people love that one. And then there's releases like collector edition releases or capsule releases or artist edition releases. We do artist edition releases that are super fun. And those are collaborations, and, we're using our art that is in alignment, and we can match together with furs and come up with something really beautiful and collaborative. It's also something that we do regularly.
That's amazing. Did you ever thought of branching? For example, some African countries actually they start their winter when we end our winter. For example, in
Yeah.
South Africa, they start March, April. This is their winter, and
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to. You can really help them to stop with the illegal. I don't know if they have a illegal, fur trade or whatever.
Right.
But maybe you can do something there too.
Yeah, I mean, one of our countries that we ship, that we ship to a lot. Our second biggest country is Canada, obviously pretty
Oh yes,
cold more often than LA. and then
definitely.
of course we have Australia. So often during summer, it's of course their winter, and so we'll see a spike in Australian customers.
Right.
And we do have global expansion on the horizon. We've been dabbling. Our production pipeline is strong enough at this point to support our entry into the global market more fully. And so we are working on that as well. And, South Africa, there's a lot of countries where we could be offsetting some of our business during the spring, summer, slower months for us and pushing internationally.
Just become a global brand because you already are,
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy to. Let's do it.
I want to know how we can help you. But before that, do you have some kind of a big project that you're dreaming of doing? And which celebrities were your clients? Because we love entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to fully talk about the celeb exposure, but we do have a few, and it's fun. I actually really love designing custom pieces. I think our biggest, we've been on so many. We've just been blessed to somehow get on people like Snoop Dogg and Justin Bieber, and just so many people. And I think that's just a testament to good quality design or a product that just resonates with people. Hopefully, you know what I mean? I think that the product itself has a lot of power when it's done well. And so I think that's helped us in that realm. For me, I love doing custom collaborations. We're working on a variety of things. I mean, the big vision for SpiritHoods is, of course, to be global and animal inspired everything. And for me, I want to be animal inspired everything. I want dishes to be, our take on dishes, animal prints and different things, yoga mats, everything. I want everything. I want you, when you think of an animal, something, if you want an animal inspired something, socks, anything, you're going to come to SpiritHoods. That's the dream. Maybe in a couple of years, we'll have this podcast again. We'll do this podcast again, and we'll talk and be like, hey, look back at what we were talking about. And
I truly believe it because and I really love your energy. You have such a warm and positive and friendly. I think that another client or maybe somebody who can represent you can be Dita Von Teese, because people, she's very sensual and this burlesque dancer, but she's very animalistic in the same, and she loves animals. She has, because I'm a big fan. I really like, because she's so elegant, and I teach etiquette, so you don't have to look like Queen Victoria or the Queen to be elegant and stylish, right?
It's the energy. I mean, energy. It's really the energy of the person. I think.
Well, maybe she can be a great resource as well, because
if you connect me to anybody, I'll take anybody and you just bring them my way, and we'll make some magic happen.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. So, and just let us know how we can help you and where people can find you. Just I will post it everywhere, but they can hear from you too.
Yeah, I mean, a great way to keep in touch is Instagram, SpiritHoods. Just go to SpiritHoods. The website, obviously, SpiritHoods.com. That's where you're going to find everything. Sign up for our newsletters, or text messaging is another great way to stay informed about product releases. I think we tend to do a lot of limited edition things, so we'll have certain items are selling out faster than others. So it's always good if you are interested to stay connected, so you know when the release is happening. We just did a capsule release of style robes. If you haven't seen it, go to the site. They're amazing. Did you see it?
I was thinking about Dita Von Teese because I love those style robes. Oh my God.
That's like my big. I was so nervous for that one because that was a big design for me. I'm designing, so what's that?
It's very different.
Very different. Yeah. And again, it's a little outside of the scope of what we've done in the past. We do, of course, do coats, but a robe is so different. So check us out there, and I mean, Instagram is a great way to keep in touch, or Facebook, SpiritHoods, just SpiritHoods. We'll probably start popping up in your ad feed at some point.
No, that's great. I actually follow you. I follow you because I like things like that, and it's so interesting to me. But I'm so glad to connect with you. Everybody, this is Latif Hamilton, the CEO and co-founder of SpiritHoods, and he's going big. He's going places, and you'll see him very soon again. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just
such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to thank to my sponsors, Attorney King, Siquian Casino and Resort, Indian Motorcycle of San Diego, the gym, and IB Fitness. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. This is Maryanne Parker, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.